Welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. Well, actually, it's Jim Bob's Kitchen this time. So one of the things I like to do is I like to take my pineapples when I get them, and I take the top off, and then I go plant it. But when I was looking up how to grow pineapples, I noticed there's a lot of confusion about cutting pineapples. People don't seem to know how to go about cutting them. So I'm going to show you my method of how to easily cut a pineapple up into chunks that you can put in your fridge and eat as you go. First thing you want to do is twist the top off. When you twist the top, just pop it like so, and it'll pop off a nice little thing. I'll show you about that. We're going to go ahead and plant that in a minute. And then you take your knife. Always make sure your knife is fairly sharp. Give it a couple of whacks to make sure you got, because you know this is somewhat hard to cut through, but not huge. Okay, so what I do is I take it like this, and I cut the top off. And then I cut the bottom off. And you know, that's yay much on the end. And then what I do is I cut it in the middle, set these aside. These will all go in the compost bin, by the way. Cut it down the middle. Cut that about half. Doesn't have to be exact by any means. And then I cut each of those in half. And don't forget to wash your hands beforehand, of course, because you are going to be playing with food. All right, so then you take, see the good pineapple is right here, but this core part isn't as good. All right, the core part right here. So I just cut that off. And it's not inedible or anything. It's not going to hurt you. All right, so I cut them all off like so. Try not to cut my fingers off. Well, again, all that's going to be in the compost bin. Then what you do is you just make your slices. Don't go all the way through the skin, though. You're just going down to the skin. Open up your little container. You can see that. And then, basically, well, let me do this. Let me do it over here. And just run your knife down the bottom. And that chunk is cut. Toss that in there. Now, if you get too close to the skin, you can end up, oops, I forgot to cut it first. You can end up with the little bark looking things. I don't think I've got any here. I don't know if you can see that, but if you get too close, you'll end up with a lot of that little brown stuff there. So, I mean, again, I don't suppose it's really bad for you, but, too much of it, it gets, I don't know, kind of chewy. Pretty simple process. And this way you end up with the nice little triangles of pineapple, which are good for munching. Because this is probably we don't really cook with it. We mostly just eat it fresh out of the refrigerator. Gets it nice and cool. I mean, it is some good stuff. And I'm starving like Marvin. Now, I don't know if this is the quickest method, but it definitely works for us. Now, I'm going to show you in a second what to do with your stem, but I got to get this cut up and put in the fridge because I don't want to let it sit out once you started cutting it, or it'll dry out real bad. Oops. See, like that. You can end up with like the bark left on it. Oops, sorry. There you go. And not the best. I mean, I suppose you can eat it. It's kind of chewy. Kind of like eating a pine cone. Now, if you're old like me, you remember a guy called Yule Givens. He used to make grape nuts commercials. Now, grape nuts is a cereal they used to have that looked a lot like cat litter. And kind of tasted like it too, I'll be honest with you. But it was a commercial where he would talk about all the different things that you could eat. Ever eat a pine cone? Some parts are edible. True story. And it would come up with all kind of crazy stuff. You ever eat an oak tree? Some parts are edible. Well, they might still have them on YouTube somewhere if you look around. They're memes? Okay. Well, for all of you who know what the memes are, now you know where it came from. Grape nuts commercials. But that is how we cut up our pineapple. Now, there are better ways. There are better ways, I suppose. This seems to work very well for us. It may not be the fastest way, but I've seen a lot of people really struggling trying to get pineapple. So, now with that being said, now what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the actual pineapple itself. Or I'm sorry, the pineapple top. So we're going to plant this, but what you want to do is, first off, can you see this? You kind of peel back the dead versions, or the dead leaves here. Alright, peel them back. And again, all that's going to go in the compost. And you keep going. And so you get down to a few rows of the live leaves. Alright, and you start peeling those back. Keep peeling them off, working your way down. Now I do it until I've got about an inch of green, what looks like roots, but they're not really root. But this is where the roots will come from. Or until you get to where they're really crisp at the top, or when they pop off. So essentially what you got is something that looks like this. This is the area that's going to root. Alright, so let's take this outside and I'll show you how I go about planting them. Alright, so once you got your pineapple top cut back, it's really simple. You just take it, find you a spot somewhere, and stick it in the ground. Now for me, this is my best spot. You just twist it into the ground a little bit. Push up the dirt around it. Voila, you're done. This is a good spot for me because it gets sunshine the better part of the day. And I've got this wall behind which helps protect it during the winter because pineapple will freeze. So if you're somewhere where it freezes, you're probably either going to have to put them in a pot or put them somewhere where they stay warm. Otherwise, they will freeze off and die, which we had done last year. This is why this is the only place I've got pineapple still left. But as you can see, I've got, well, there's one up under the tree, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be 9. This is the first one for this year that we've actually planted. Oh, I'm sorry, in that one. So 2. It takes 2 to 3 years for a pineapple to grow up and produce a sprout. So we'll get back to you on that, but that's how I go about planting the tops. And as you can see, it seems to work. I mean, they do grow and they're kind of cool looking, even if I don't get any actual pineapple. And then the rest of it, including the paper towels I use to wipe my hands, will all go in the compost bin. So that's how I plant pineapple in my house here at Jim Bob's Garden. So once again, thanks for stopping by. Everything you get can usually be used in some way, shape, or another. All right, so like I said, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you think.